Fourth topic is reporting of assets, liabilities, and disclosure in financial statement using relevant in Indian accounting standards. Under this topic, accounting standard number 2, that is for inventory. Standard number 16, that is for property, plant, and equipment (PPE). Then accounting standard number 23, borrowing cost. 36, impairment of assets and tangible assets, employee benefit, then provisions, contingent liabilities, and contingent assets, then earning per share and operating segment. All these accounting standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 accounting standard we have to learn. We have to complete it in this topic number 4. So first accounting standard is valuation of inventory. So object of this accounting standard. The base, why the need of this accounting standard is so काय need असेल की ज्याने हे accounting standard design करायची गरज पडली. The basic objective of accounting standard is to remove variations in the treatment of several accounting aspects and to bring about the standardization in presentation. Okay, just 1 second. The objective, so basically if everyone is tried to or everyone is differently recording their inventories in their books of accounts, so it is no use for the comparison. So there is a need of this accounting standard. The object of this accounting standard is to bring a standardized process in this inventory segment. Then valuation of inventories, the formula on the which basis we have to value our inventories. Problem they, in our problem they gives us only in raw material, but at the actual place of production there are different types of inventories. That material is used for the final product. Okay, so की कुठल्या कुठल्या प्रकारे every inventory चा record केला पाहिजे आणि valuation केलं पाहिजे हे ठरवणार आहे हे accounting standard. To formulate the method of computation of cost of inventory oblique stock. The inventory determining the value of closing stock at which is to be shown in the balance sheet. See, at the end of financial reporting, what we are in the balance sheet, it's only a amount of closing stock. So on the which basis or which formula we are recording this stock, still it is not sold or recognized as a revenue. की तो सोल्ड झालेला नाहीये, but it's recognized as a revenue. खर्च तर झालाय आपला, right? The application of accounting standard. This accounting standard apply in accounting for the inventories other than work in progress arising under the construction contract, including directly related services contract, work in process arising in the ordinary course of business of service provider, then shares, debenture, and other financial instrument held as a stock in trade, then producers inventories of livestock, agricultural, forest product, and mineral oils, ores, and grass to the extent that they are measured at a net realizable value in accordance with well-established practices in those industries. So inventory defined as, so काय काय येईल inventoryच्या definition मध्ये, held for the sale in the ordinary course of business, in the process of production of such sale, that is raw material and work in progress, in the form of material and supplies to be consumed in the production process or in the rendering of services, that is stores, spares parts, raw material. Inventory do not include machinery. So machinery is not included in our inventory. It is our asset. Measure of inventory. How we measure the inventories? Inventory should be valued at a lower of cost and net resale value. So तुम्हाला ऍडजस्टमेंट होती ही फायनल अकाउंट मध्ये इन युअर फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर की क्लोजिंग स्टॉक they are given in your trial balance and they are giving the market stock. So market closing stock. So whichever is less, we already recorded. So same on the basis of this accounting standard, we are using that lower amount for our transaction. Then determination of cost of inventories. This cost of inventory includes. So what is included in this cost of inventory? So cost of purchase plus cost of conversion plus other cost include in the bringing the inventories at their present location and condition. So cost of purchase also includes the cost of purchase price includes duty and purchase price, taxes, freight inward, other expenditure directly attributed to the acquisition. Those expenses directly form a part of acquisition. उसमें से क्या लेस करेंगे? Less duties and taxes recoverable by the enterprises from the taxing authorities. कि जीएसटी जैसा है कि अगर हम रिवोक कर सकते हैं तो वी कैन दैट डिडक्ट दैट अमाउंट, देन ट्रेड डिस्काउंट, ड्यूटी ड्रॉबैक एंड रिबेट. Then cost of conversion. What is the cost of conversion? To convert the raw material into final product or a semi product. It consists of the cost directly related to the units, that is direct labor, direct material and direct material expenses. So these are direct expenses and direct labor are help to convert the cost of convert the material into final product. उसमें ऐड क्या करेंगे? ऐड systematic allocation on of a fixed and variable production overheads that are incurred in the converting the material into finished goods, like light bills hai, depreciation hai. Other cost incurred in bringing the inventories to their present location and condition. Excise duty contributes the directly to bring the inventories to its present location and condition. Basically excise duty कहाँ पे आता है? कब पेड करते हैं excise duty? When we are paying excise duty. हेलो, हाँ बोलिए. When we are paying excise duty. सर्च करके आंसर दो, कब पेड करते एक्साइज ड्यूटी? सर्च करो. If you are unable to give answer by unmuting, you can drop your answer in chat box. अरे सब गायब हो क्या लेक्चर से? चलो ठीक है, चलो आगे चलते हैं। एक्साइज ड्यूटी इज अ डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट हो गया। डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू ऑफ इन्वेंटरीज, क्या हाउ वी डिटरमाइन द एट व्हाट नेट वैल्यू चाहिए हमें रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए, ग्रॉस वैल्यू वगैरह नहीं चाहिए। नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू मीन्स द एस्टिमेट सेलिंग प्राइस इन ऑर्डिनरी कोर्स ऑफ बिजनेस लेस estimated cost of completion and estimated cost necessary to make the sale, that is our net realizable value, कि क्या प्राइस पे वो हम सेल करेंगे। okay, then if the finished product is sold at a cost or above cost, then the estimated realizable value of raw material and supplies is considered more than its cost। अगर वो at cost हम सोल्ड कर रहे हैं अपना फाइनल प्रोडक्ट, so it should be more than our cost। if the finished product is sold below cost, then the estimated realizable value of raw material or the supplies is equal to replacement price of raw material or supplies। that is कि हमने ये टेंडर का एक sorry, you can add 20% profit on total cost या you can add 20% profit on selling price। ऐसे ये है कि अगर आप ये दो किसी भी तरह से आप नेट वैल्यू रियलाइज कर सकते हैं। methods of computing inventories, so this, I think this type of problem you have completed in your first semester। These three types of inventory valuation method they are putting, the first in first out method, that what then last in first out, जो inventory last में आएगा वो first use करेंगे, then weighted average cost of method। First in first out method contain that this method assumes that the first unit acquired are the first unit sold। it means what कि जो भी first unit हमने, if I purchase some X kind of material 20 units yesterday, today 30 units, okay, so when I release my inventory from from my stores, so I release the 20 unit inventory that was purchased yesterday, तो आम्ही पहिले रिलीज करणार, that is first in first out, आणि त्याची जी कॉस्ट त्या दिवशी असेल ती त्याला इन करतानाची ती रेकॉर्ड होते आणि आउट करतानाची त्याला ती सेम कॉस्ट ऍप्लिकेबल होते। the cost of ending inventory is that of the most recent purchase। so major criticism of the first in first out method, improper matching of cost with the revenue, since the cost of goods sold computed on the basis of the old price that are possibly unrealistic, because they saying that ki if the prices of inventory is continuously changes, so if this is not a very feasible method, then they are using last in first out, कि जो भी inventory last में आएगा वो first consume होगा। This method assumes that the last unit acquired are the first unit sold। the cost of unit of the ending inventory is that of the earliest purchase। the chief advantages of LIFO is that the balance sheet value of the inventories may be outdated and unrealistic। ये भी कुछ उसके भी drawback है। then third method is weighted average cost method। in this method की क्या होता है कि वो टोटल एग्रीगेट वैल्यू निकालते हैं इन्वेंटरीज का। दे आर रिकॉर्डिंग इन्वेंटरी एज एंड व्हेन दे entered into our stores, and at the time of using that inventory to the factory or issuing that inventory to the factory, they are using the combination of first in first out method and average निकालते हैं ये प्राइस का। ये टोटल अगर मैंने 20 यूनिट कल परचेज 2 दिन पहले परचेस किए, 30 यूनिट 3 दिन पहले परचेस किए, अब आज मैंने 40 यूनिट्स परचेस किए, सो इट विल टेक कितने यूनिट हुए, 70 यूनिट्स हो गए, लेकिन मुझे फैक्ट्री में तो चाहिए 50 यूनिट्स, तो वो 50 यूनिट्स इशू करेंगे और जो रेट से मैंने परचेस किया होगा से 5 रुपीज 3 रुपीज 8 रुपीज जो भी होगा उसका एवरेज निकाल के वो कॉस्ट उसका निकालते हैं। The major criticism of the weighted average cost is that is assigned to a more importance to current price than to a past price paid several months ago। देन डिस्क्लोजर इन फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट की कैसे डिस्क्लोजर होगा, अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसी अडॉप्टिंग इन मेजरिंग द इन्वेंटरीज, आपने कौन सी पॉलिसी यूज की है, कौन सा मेथड यूज किया है, कौन सा फॉर्मूला यूज किया है, वो आपको फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में डिस्क्लोज करना पड़ेगा। देन क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ इन्वेंटरीज लाइक फिनिश गुड्स इन्वेंटरी कितना है, वर्क इन प्रोसेस इन्वेंटरी कितना है, रॉ मटेरियल्स कितना है, स्पेयर पार्ट्स का इन्वेंटरी कितना है, वी हैव टू शो दिस सेपरेटली इन आवर फाइनेंशियल statement. This is a disclosure part of this standard. The next standard for is property, plant and equipment. That is PPE. इसको PPE भी बोलते हैं शॉर्ट में. स्कोप क्या है इसका देखो. This Indian Accounting Standard 16 prescribe the accounting treatment for property, plant and equipment. The main issue deals in these are recognition of property, plant and equipment. First we have to recognize कि कौन से property under 16 में आ रहा है, कौन सा plant under Indian Accounting Standard 16 में आएगा, कौन सा equipment आएगा. Then measurement at and after the recognition कि उसको क्या कैसे वैल्यू मेजर करेंगे, देन उसका डेप्रिसिएशन कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे, देन इम्पार्टमेंट ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट एंड डी रिकॉग्नाइजेशन, उसको अगर सोल्ड कर देते हैं या फिर उसको उसका लाइफ खत्म हो जाता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ डी रिकॉग्नाइजेशन. देन द प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट आर टेंजिबल आइटम्स दैट आर, कौन-कौन से टेंजिबल एसेट्स का एसेट्स के लिए होता है ये, held for use in production or supply of goods or services for a rental to others, कि हमारे पास नहीं है वो प्रॉपर्टी, हमने किसी को रेंट पे दी है, या फिर मशीनरी है वो रेंट पे दी है, कि जेरोक्स मशीन वाले वगैरह लोग होते हैं कि दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग जेरोक्स मशीन, और एसी भी हम ऐसे रेंट पे देते हैं किसी को. That type of asset is not having with us, but they are our assets. Or administrative purpose are expected to be used during the more than one period. कि ये एक साल से ज्यादा यूज हो रहा है that kind of property, तो हम ये included in accounting standard 16 में आएगा. Indian accounting standards state the cost of an item, property, plant and equipment shall be recognized and assets if and only if. So क्या बोला है उन्होंने कि कब आएगा ये PP? It is probable that future economic benefit associated with the item will flow to the entity. कि फ्यूचर बेनिफिट है, अभी उसका बेनिफिट नहीं आ रहा है, लेकिन फ्यूचर में उसका बेनिफिट इन फॉर्म ऑफ कैश आएगा, कोई किसी भी फॉर्म में आएगा. देन कॉस्ट ऑफ द आइटम्स कैन बी मेजर्ड रिलायबली, वो कॉस्ट जो आ रहा है आइटम्स का वो हम मेजर कर सकते हैं इन प्रॉपर वे. In recognition principle shall be applied to all cost at the item they are incurred, both incurred identically to acquire or construct the item of PPE and incurred subsequently after recognition added to replace part of or a service it. Okay, अगर वो तब नहीं recognize हुआ है, after recognizing आएगा तो उसके subsequent charges भी add होने वाले हैं. तो कैसे मेजर करेंगे? इनिशियली मेजरमेंट, इनिशियल उसको तो रिकॉग्नाइज तो करना पड़ेगा. इनिशियल के कौन कौन से वी आर इंक्लूडेड इन पीपी. देन item of PP that qualifies for the recognition as an asset shall be measured at its cost. जितने का भी उसका cost है, at cost उसको मेजर करेंगे. The cost of an item of property, plant and equipment comprise, कैसे आता है वो? The purchase price. Okay, so जैसे हमने इन्वेंटरी का देखा कि कॉस्ट ऑफ परचेस कैसे आएगा, परचेस प्राइस इंक्लूड, परचेस में क्या क्या होगा, इफ यू आर पेइंग एनी इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी, नॉन रिफंडेबल परचेस टैक्सेस आफ्टर डिडक्टिंग द ट्रेड डिस्काउंट्स एंड रिबेट, कि सेम इन्वेंटरी का जैसे प्राइस निकालते हैं उसका ऐसे इसका परचेस प्राइस निकालेंगे. ओके, and any cost और कोई भी cost हो सकता है that is directly attributed to bring the assets to the location and condition necessary to be capable. मैं इसका examples क्या है देखो. Example transportation है, cost of site preparation है, कि कुछ मशीनरी के लिए या फिर कुछ प्लांट्स के लिए वी हैव टू मेक अ सर्टेन स्पेसिफिकेशन इन आवर फैक्ट्री, उसको सप्लाई अरेंज करना पड़ता है, या फिर कोई बेस बनाना पड़ता है, उसके ऊपर वो रखना है, उसके ऊपर प्रेशर मैनेज करने के लिए कुछ करना है, लाइक या फिर हमें प्रोफेशनल अपॉइंट करना है वो इंस्टॉल करने के लिए, लाइक दिस ऑल आर एक्स्ट्रा कॉस्ट डायरेक्टली एट्रीब्यूटेड, ये इसमें आएगा। ओके, देन the initial estimate of the cost of dismantling and removing the items and restoring the site on which it is located, कि site पे अगर जाना है तो, then cost, cash cost, cash cost हम cash price में भी आता है। The cost of an item of the property, plant and equipment is the cash price equivalent at the recognition date, कि उसका क्या cash price आ रहा है। Okay, then if the payment is deferred beyond the normal credit terms, कि credit terms के ऊपर जा रहा है, कि आपको क्रेडिट मिला है 15 डेज का, 1 मंथ का, 2 मंथ्स का, व्हाटएवर, उसके बाद भी अगर पेमेंट नहीं किया है तो उसके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट चार्ज होगा। ओके, देन द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द कैश प्राइस इक्विवेलेंट, कैश प्राइस का जो था और जो टोटल पेमेंट विथ इंटरेस्ट कर रहे हैं, रिकॉग्नाइज एज अ इंटरेस्ट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ क्रेडिट, ओके, वो कैश प्राइस आएगा उसका। फर्स्ट में क्या आएगा, सिर्फ कैश प्राइस एट द टाइम ऑफ रिकॉग्नाइजेशन, यानी जब हम वो परचेज कर रहे हैं या किसी को दे रहे हैं रेंट पे, एट दैट टाइम कैश प्राइस कितना है। इफ योर क्रेडिट टर्म इज एक्सीड, आपने क्रेडिट पे लिया है या उस पे उसका पेमेंट नहीं किया है, तो उसका इंटरेस्ट भी कैश प्राइस में ऐड होगा। या फिर बार्टर एक्सचेंज करते हैं, इफ एन एसेट इज एक्वायर्ड इन द एक्सचेंज फॉर अनदर नॉन मॉनिटरी एसेट, द कॉस्ट विल बी मेजर्ड एट द फेयर वैल्यू अनलेस the exchange transaction lacks commercial substance नहीं होना चाहिए। The fair value of the neither the assets received nor the assets given up is reliably measurable. If the acquired item is not measured at a fair value, its cost is measured at the carrying amount of the assets giving up. कि कुछ फंक्शंस ऐसे होते हैं कि हम दूसरे यूनिट से लेके आते हैं अपना मशीनरी, और उनको उनका मशीनरी लेके आते हैं, हमारा मशीनरी उनको देते हैं, तब वो कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं। सब्सिक्वेंट मेजर्स, अभी क्या क्या सब्सिक्वेंट मेजर्स है। एनी एंटिटी में चूज 2 अकाउंटिंग मॉडल्स फॉर इट्स प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट, ये 2 तरह के मॉडल दिए हैं, यू हैव टू चूज फ्रॉम वन और फर्स्ट और सेकेंड। Cost model, any entity shall carry an asset, its cost less any accumulated depreciation and any accumulated impartment loss. Impartment is when the asset is not giving a profitable while though you are using that asset for your profit purpose, but that asset is not give you a profit in return, that is called as a impartment of loss. ओके, सो कैसे क्या कॉस्ट कैलकुलेट करेंगे, क्या कॉस्ट पे हम एक्यूमुलेटेड डेप्रिसिएशन लेस करेंगे, अगर कोई लॉस आ रहा है तो वो लेस करेंगे। देन सेकेंड मॉडल इज रिवैल्यूएशन मॉडल, एन एंटिटी शैल कैरी एन एसेट एट अ revalued amount. Revalued amount, it is the fair value at the date of revaluation less any subsequent accumulated depreciation and सब्सिक्वेंट एक्यूमुलेटेड इम्पार्टमेंट लॉस, कि फेयर वैल्यू सिर्फ ऐड करेंगे। कॉस्ट मॉडल में क्या होगा कि जो भी कॉस्ट होगा परचेस का, वो कॉस्ट में से हम डेप्रिसिएशन एंड लॉस लेस करेंगे। रिवैल्यूएशन मॉडल में एट द टाइम ऑफ हम ट्रांसफर के उसका फेयर वैल्यू कितना आ रहा है अभी एसेट का, उसके ऊपर हम उससे हम डेप्रिसिएशन माइनस करेंगे एंड लॉस माइनस करेंगे। अभी देखो रिवैल्यूएशन, an entity shall revalue its asset with the sufficient regulatory so that the carrying amount does not differ materially from its fair value at the end of the reporting period. कि अगर at the end of दो अगर किसी को लीज पे दिया है 2 मंथ्स के लिए, 3 मंथ्स के लिए, 1 ईयर के लिए, तो उसका वैल्यूएशन चेक कर, रिवैल्यूएशन मेथड उसका प्रॉपरली यूज होना चाहिए। इफ एन आइटम्स ऑफ PPE is revalued, the entire class of property, plant and equipment which that assets belong shall be revalued. अगर कोई भी चेंज हो रहा है प्लांट या प्रॉपर्टी इक्विपमेंट, पूरा का पूरा वो चेंज हो जाएगा। अब इसको डेप्रिसिएशन कैसे चार्ज करेंगे? इट इज डेप्रिसिएशन इज डिफर्ड एज एन सिस्टमेटिक अलोकेशन ऑफ द depreciable amount of an assets over its useful life. So what is depreciation की depreciable amount की इतना उसका useful life है उसके basis पे होगा. The items of property, plant and equipment are usually depreciated in order to maintain the matching principle as they are in operation from more than 1 year. अगर आपने किसी को more than 1 year से use कर रहे हैं, so it is applicable for depreciation. They assist in producing the revenue in more than 1 year and therefore their cost shall be separate among those years in order to match the revenue they help to प्रोड्यूस की जो रेवेन्यू उनके हेल्प से हमने जो रेवेन्यू क्रिएट किया है तो उसको हम उसके लिए उसका डेप्रिसिएशन कैलकुलेट होगा. So depreciable amount, it is the cost of an assets or other amount substituted for cost less its residual value. So depreciation period, it is basically assets useful life. यूजफुल लाइफ इज द पीरियड कि कैसे डेप्रिसिएशन का क्या है उसका कितना लाइफ जो भी हम यूज कर रहे हैं मशीनरी कर रहे हैं या जो भी फिक्स एसेट पे डेप्रिसिएशन आएगा जो भी हम उसको यूज करने से उसका लाइफ कम होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द डेप्रिसिएशन. इट्स डिपेंड अपॉन दो ईयर चार्ज परसेंटेज पे हो या फिर रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू मेथड पे हो डेप्रिसिएशन पे हो या यूजफुल लाइफ पे हो तो उसको एक सर्टेन अमाउंट आता है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ यूजफुल लाइफ. अभी यहाँ पे डेप्रिसिएशन हम यूजफुल लाइफ एंड द एसेट रेसिडुअल वैल्यू पे करेंगे. ओके तो ईच फाइनेंशियल ईयर में तो ये हो गया हमारा एसेट्स का डेप्रिसिएशन कैसे चार्ज करेंगे. दिस काइंड ऑफ एसेट्स आर जनरली द एसेट्स की जो छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स होते हैं कि लाइक हमें स्पेयर पार्ट्स यूज कर रहे हैं जो भी छोटे छोटे स्पेयर पार्ट्स यूज कर रहे हैं लूज टूल्स है उसके ऊपर हमें डेप्रिसिएशन चार्ज करना पड़ता है राइट. सो वो कैसे कैलकुलेट करना है ये आएगा यहाँ पे अंडर दिस अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड. Just a second, I just want to show you one video. कौन सा था वो वीडियो? Just a second, I just want to share video with you. For next accounting standard हम वीडियो से करते हैं. शो हो रहा है स्क्रीन?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This accounting standard is borrowing cost. क्या है ये borrowing cost? Borrowing cost is the cost at कि हमें अगर कहाँ पे इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है इन्वेस्टमेंट इन फॉर्म ऑफ मशीनरी हो या शेयर्स का बोरोइंग कॉस्ट यहाँ पे नहीं आता है. शेयर्स का डिबेंचर्स का कॉस्ट छोड़ के जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट हम करते हैं उसके लिए क्या बोरोइंग कॉस्ट पे करना है और उसका ट्रीटमेंट कैसे आएगा दिस कंटेन इन दिस borrowing cost video or this accounting standard. आवाज आ रहा है?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
वीडियो का आवाज आ रहा है?
नहीं मैम.
No, ma'am.
आ रहा है क्या? नहीं आ रहा है वीडियो का आवाज?
नहीं.
ओके, एक सेकेंड ना, फिर से शेयर करते हैं, 1 मिनट.
Asset.
अब आ रहा
First
है?
question is what is borrowing costs?
Yes, ma'am.
Borrowing
Yes, ma'am.
costs
Yes,
are
ma'am.
Basic and most important principle of Ind AS 23 says that borrowing costs which are directly attributable to acquisition, construction and production of a qualifying asset forms part of cost of asset. First question is what is borrowing costs? Borrowing costs are interest and other costs that an entity incurs in connection with the borrowing of funds. So what is qualifying asset? A qualifying asset is an asset that necessarily takes a substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use or sale. This period is not defined in Ind AS. Management exercises judgment when determining which assets are qualifying assets. We can say that an asset that normally takes more than a year to be ready for use will usually be a qualifying asset. Acquisition means you have purchased qualifying asset. Normally purchased asset will be always ready for use, right? Then how it can become qualified? Let's say some company has purchased permit for construction of building. License is ready to use. But since building project is for substantial period, and permit is linked to this qualifying asset of building construction, you can capitalize borrowing cost of permit. Construction means you have created qualifying asset, e.g. building or large project. Then, borrowing cost of project can be capitalized. Production means you have produced qualifying asset. However, please note that as per the provision of Ind AS 23, inventories which are produced in large quantity should not be considered as qualifying assets. If all these conditions are satisfied, then borrowing cost can form cost of the asset. But what if cost is not directly attributable? Then it should be recognized as expenses. Basic and most. Let's study qualifying assets exclusion. Biological assets can't be covered under qualifying assets because biological assets are covered under Ind AS 41 at fair market value. But what is meaning of biological assets? A biological assets is an animal or plant. It may be in the form of sheep, goats, buffaloes, plant, trees, crops. It means we can't capitalize borrowing cost to the biological assets. Qualifying asset can be inventories, manufacturing plants, power generation facilities, intangible assets, investments, properties. Qualifying asset cannot be biological assets, assets ready for use, inventories manufactured in large quantities on repetitive basis, financial assets. Borrowing costs may include interest expense, which should be calculated as per effective interest rate method as per Ind AS 39. Finance charges in respect of finance lease. Exchange differences arising from foreign currency borrowings to the extent that they are regarded as an adjustment to interest costs. Decision on borrowing rate depends on type of borrowing. If funds are borrowed specifically for the purpose of obtaining a qualifying asset, actual borrowing cost incurred on that borrowing during the period should be capitalized. Any income on temporary investment of those borrowings should be deducted. If funds are borrowed, generally funds and used for qualifying asset, borrowing costs are determined by applying a capitalization rate to the expenditure on that asset. Capitalization rate is the weighted average of the borrowing costs of the entity that are outstanding during the period, other than borrowings made specifically for the purpose of obtaining a qualifying asset. Now let's see practical problem on general borrowing. There is entity which has started construction of building on 1st of July 2017 and completed it on 30th of June 2018. Total cost of construction was 22 lakhs. Same was funded by specific loan of 7 lakhs on which interest incurred during period was 65,000 and income earned was 20,000. 2 general loans of 10 lakhs at 12.5% and 15 lakhs at 10% were taken on simple interest on 1st of July 2017. What is amount of borrowing cost to be capitalized? Expenditure pattern we will see in solution. First step is to calculate weighted average period of general borrowing, for which we need to divide expenditure into specific and general borrowing. After which we need to identify period for which period expenditure is outstanding. Then we should calculate weighted average borrowing, which is period into expenditure divided by period of loan till capitalization date. Weighted average borrowing amount is 3,75,000. Expenditure incurred on 1st July and 30th September was out of special borrowing of 7 lakhs. So general borrowing remaining is 1 lakhs for period of 9 months. 1 lakhs into 9 months divided by 12 months is equal to 75,000. Similarly, we derived weighted average borrowing for other 2 expenditures. Finally, total weighted average borrowing is 3,75,000. Then we should calculate capitalization rate. Capitalization rate is equal to loan 1 into interest rate of loan 1 divided by total loan plus loan 2 into interest rate of loan 2 divided by total loan. Here expenditure amount is irrelevant. Capitalization rate is 11%. Interest to be capitalized is interest on specific loan which is 65,000 plus interest on general loan which weighted averaged borrowing calculated earlier into weighted average capitalization rate which is 41,250 in this case. We should deduct interest income on investment of borrowing. In this case borrowing to be capitalized is 86,250.
तो कौन बताएगा मुझे अभी कैपिटलाइजेशन के बारे में थोड़ा? चलो, व्हाट आर यू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम वीडियो? क्या है कॉस्ट ऑफ बोरोइंग इज रिलेटेड विथ? किसके रिलेटेड है कॉस्ट ऑफ बोरोइंग? किसके रिलेटेड है कॉस्ट ऑफ बोरोइंग? चलो फिर नेक्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड करते हैं. द अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 36 इम्पार्टमेंट ऑफ एसेट्स. सो कोई बताएगा? एक्चुअली इट्स वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम टू यूजिंग यू and asking you any question. Okay, so what is the impartment of assets? Assets to be carried. Assets should be carried at a one or more than the recoverable amount. That is the amount expected to be recovered through use of the assets are its fair value less cost to sale. Specify producers to be followed to ensure that the assets are not carried at more than recoverable amount. Specify when the impartment loss should be reversed. Then specify required disclosure. This is the part of this Indian Accounting Standard 36. So apply to all assets except this Indian Accounting Standard is applicable except this inventories, assets arising from the construction contract, deferred tax assets, financial assets, assets arising from the employee benefit at a fair value, biological assets and non-current as a held for sale. So these accounting standard is for these accounting standard or these kind of assets, this is not applicable. So some definition of under this accounting standard is an active market. When this accounting standard is used, when your asset is not giving any kind of profit from the specific for the, you have to say that your asset is impartable. Then what is an active market? So these asset is generally produce the things and that things we are going to sell in a market. So what is a active market? It is a market in which all the following condition exist. The items trade within the market are homogeneous, that is same item hai. Willing buyers and sellers can normally be found at any time, and the prices are available to the public. Purchase कर सकती है. The next definition is carrying amount. It is the amount at which an asset is recognized after deducting any accumulated depreciation or amortization and accumulated impairment loss. The cash what is a cash generating unit? See, basically, if there is a stopping in the cash generating unit, your assets that after at that time your asset is impartial. It is the smallest identifiable group of assets that generate the cash inflows that are largely independent of cash flows from other assets or a group of assets. Then corporate assets. So what is the corporate assets? Under this we have another definition. Corporate assets are the assets other than the goodwill and contribute to the future cash flow for both the cash generating unit under review and other cash generating units. तो जो हाँ दोनों पे भी work करेगा. Cost of disposal and in incremental cost directly attributable to the disposal of an assets or a cash generating unit, excluding finance cost and income tax expenses. Then this depreciable amount. It is the cost of an assets. Depreciable amount is the cost of an assets or other amounts substituted for cost in the financial statement less its residual value. Then depreciation or amortization, it is the systematic allocation of the depreciable amount of assets over its useful life. Fair value less cost. To sell, the amount obtainable from the sale of assets or cash generating unit in an arm's length transaction between the knowledge, willing, practice less the cost of disposal. And impartment loss. So what is the impartment loss? It is the amount by which the carrying amount of an assets or a cash generating unit exceeds its recoverable amount. The recoverable amount of an assets or cash generating unit is higher of its fair value, less cost to sell and its value in use. Then useful life is either. So what is the useful life of this asset? Is the period of time over which the asset is expected to be used by the entity, or the number of production or a similar unit expected to be obtained from the assets by entity. Sometimes sometimes the machinery have a production like say 2 lakhs 20 lakhs production unit, 2000 production unit per month. So this is the two types. In these two types we can calculate the life of asset. How to calculate impartment loss? Impairment loss is recoverable value less its carrying amount. Recoverable amount of the asset is less than its carrying amount. The carrying amount of the asset shall be reduced to its recoverable amount. The reduction in the reduction is an impairment loss. So minus मध्ये येणार, loss is always show in a minus with the minus sign. If the recoverable amount is more than carrying amount of an asset, then no impartment loss will be recognized. Recoverable amount shall be higher of the following. Recoverable amount is दोनों में से है जो higher value आएगा, that is we called as a recoverable amount. Fair value less cost of disposal या value in use, इसमें से दो भी higher value आएगा, that is we called as a recoverable amount. So how we calculate fair value less cost of disposal? Cost of disposal are deducted while determining the fair value less cost of disposal. Example of such cost are legal cost होगा, stamp duty and similar taxes, cost of removing the assets, incremental cost of bringing the assets into the condition for its scale, or other cost. This is called as a cost of disposal. Then value in use. It shall be calculated on the following basis. Estimated future cash flow. After using that machine, what is your future cash flow? And discounted rate. That is we called as a cost of capital, 6%, 5%, 2%, whatever it is. When to test the impartment, कि कब ये face होता है impartment? It is to be conducted on annual basis. It should be conducted on annual basis. Test for impartment annually when tangible assets has identified life or intangible assets are not available for use. Intangible assets has identified life, after that they are not available for use. Then where the indicators occurs, these are external indicator. they indicator कि कब आ रहा है impartment situation, the factors, internal factors and significant decline in market value. Your market value is showing always decline. Then change in technology, market, economy and or legal environment, कि there is a sudden market or economic condition. Change in the interest rate, कि cost of borrowing ही change हो रहा है आपका, या फिर material price change हो रहा है, और low capital, market capitalization, कि market में आपका capitalization ही नहीं हो रहा है. Then internal indicator, aspects performance of decline, assets performance is decline, assets का जो या फिर वो कुछ भी what we can say कि ये expenses ज्यादा हो रहा है instead of production. Then discontinuance or the restructuring plan, कि इंटरनली ही हम कुछ रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग कर रहे हैं मशीनरी का, या फिर वी आर प्लानिंग टू परचेस अ न्यू मशीनरी, सो पुराने वाले मशीनरी से ऑटोमेटिकली कम प्रोडक्शन करा रहे. देन एविडेंस ऑफ फिजिकल एब्सोलेंस. This is the internal and external factors for your loss. Then impartment loss for cash generating unit. What is the when we called as a loss for this cash generating unit? Cash generating unit is the units की आप जहां से cash continuously generate होता है. Okay, allocation of impartment loss in the following ways. First, to the carrying amount of the goodwill allocated for the cash generating units. Then to other assets pro rata on the basis of pro rata basis for carrying amount of each assets, की pro rata basis पे कि हर एक को कितना जा सकता है इसका कैलकुलेशन करेंगे. देन डिस्क्लोजर कैसे होगा इस एसेट का, अंडर दिस क्लॉज कैसे डिस्क्लोजर करते हैं. अमाउंट ऑफ इम्पार्चमेंट लॉस रिकॉग्नाइज्ड और रिवर्स ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड इन इनकम स्टेटमेंट में आएगा और डायरेक्टली टू द इक्विटी स्टेटमेंट में आएगा. इफ रिकॉग्नाइज्ड इन इनकम स्टेटमेंट, डिस्क्लोजर ऑफ वेयर आइटम्स आर इंक्लूडेड. वो कौन कौन से रिकॉग्नाइज्ड इन इनकम स्टेटमेंट में आएगा, कहाँ पे वो रिकॉर्ड होगा. स्टेटमेंट रिपोर्टिंग इंफॉर्मेशन. देन segment of reporting information by category of assets. Disclosure when the impartment loss are material for an individual assets, और information on the basis use, किस बेसिस पे आपने वो imparchment किया है वो भी आएगा. ओके, then the next is intangible asset. माझं लेक्चर चालू आहे, 7 ला संपणार आहे, नंतर बोलो. Intangible asset. The next is next in our syllabus is intangible asset. Intangible assets. What is the intangible assets? Having a future economic benefit. What is intangible asset content? कि इसमें future economic benefit होता है. No physical substance की उसके this is my intangible asset हम show नहीं कर सकते, right? सिर्फ वो होते हैं. What is the high with the high degree of uncertainty concerning the future benefit arise from the contractual and other legal rights. कैसे आते हैं कि ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है किसी के बीच में या फिर लीगल राइट्स होते हैं उसके, क्लियरली डिस्टिंग्विशेबल एंड कंट्रोलेबल. कंट्रोलेबल होता है. कॉमन टाइप्स ऑफ इंटेंजिबल एसेट्स. दीज आर द कॉमन टाइप्स ऑफ इंटेंजिबल एसेट्स. पेटेंट्स, कॉपीराइट्स, franchises, startup cost, trademark, goodwill. These are the common or what we can say well-known intangible assets. What is the objective of accounting standard 38? To allow the entities to identify and recognize. First, we have to identify and recognize the separate value of intangible asset. Enable user to assess more accurately the value and makeup of assets of the entity. Then scope क्या है, उसमें definitions है, recognition किया, उसके बाद derecognition करना है, determining the carrying amount, कितना उसका cost है intangible asset का, determination and treatment of impartment losses. उसमें भी loss होता है तो क्या करेंगे, disclosure requirement, कैसे वो disclose होता है. Accounting treatment, first recognition, then measurement. Initial measurement, subsequent measurement, then presentation and disclosure. अभी recognition कितना कैसे करेंगे? Then asset and recognize as an asset if flow of probable future economic benefit into the entity and cost can be measured reliably. कि उसका cost जो आएगा कि जब cost आ रहा है reliably in the way it means what कि कैसे उसमें add होता है purchase price में things ऐसे. Cost comprise same. Cost comprise purchase price, any directly attributed cost की जो भी attributable cost आएगा उसका वो उसमें add होगा. Attributable cost, now in the previous slides we already known that कि legal charges होता है या फिर वो company में आने तक का जो भी cost आएगा वो, या फिर वो assets in working condition के लाने के लिए जो भी expenses होगा वो. Internally generated intangible asset कि two phase होता है, research phase. Generally these intangible assets is take a birth from the research phase. No intangible assets arising from the research phase may be recognized. There is a insufficient certainty that will generate for economic benefit. Or the development phase. Intangible assets arising from the development phase are recognized when the entity meets those two recognition criteria. The cost relating to many internally generated intangible items cannot be capitalized and are expended as incurred. कि जो भी research cost है, startup cost है, training cost है, advertising and promotion cost है, these items is just not we are not able to capitalize this cost with our asset. Measurement कौन सा है? Initial measurement and subsequent measurements. कि ये intangible assets के लिए two types of measurement. Initial measurement, on the initial recognition and intangible asset is measured at a cost. कि ऐसे नहीं होता है intangible asset का कि मैंने per machinery लाया, install किया, that is called my asset. But in case of intangible asset, there is a process of say 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 3 months की वो develop होता है. अगर कोई intangible assets आपको करना है specifically, तो इसलिए वो initial measurement क्या है? In case of internal project, research expenditure and the development expenditure to be separated. So what amount should be included in research expenditure and development expenditure should be separated. Project research expenditure will be treated as expenses and project development expenditure should be treated as cost for our initial intangible assets. Then subsequent major number 2 model का है cost model and revaluation model. पिछले भी इसमें cost model था and revaluation model था. So what is cost model? So cost model is carrying amount of intangible asset to its cost less accumulated amortization. See, here is we called as a depreciation. Instead of a depreciation, we called it amortization and impairment losses. Less उसमें से impairment loss होगा. See, as तुम्ही जर ऑब्झर्व केलं असेल तर हे जे कॉस्टचे जे कॅल्क्युलेशन आहेत आता हे तीनही दोनही स्टँडर्ड्सला तीनही स्टँडर्ड्सला सेम आलेले आहेत. Asset classified as held for a sale or shown in the lower of fair value या fair value उसमें से less cost to sell and carrying amount होगा. This is our cost model. Revaluation model is assets are carried at a fair value at the date of revaluation less any subsequent accumulated amortization and less any subsequent accumulated impairment loss. की carried out fair value at the time today उसका fair market value कितना है. The asset value should be reviewed regularly उसको review करना पड़ेगा. The revaluation model is only available if an active market exists for an intangible asset. Such active markets are expected to be uncommon for intangible assets. Useful life of intangible asset. Useful life of intangible assets can be applied in two ways. Intangible asset with the finite useful life. It is amortized on the systematic basis over the best estimated life its use. उसको definitely है. Then second is intangible assets with the infinite value should be tested for the impairment usually but not amortize. वो amortize नहीं कर सकते उसको. So I think we stop here today and next session part we cover in our next session. Okay, so have a nice time. So you can leave your meeting. Thank you.